Hi guys, it's Erica here and welcome to a 12x12 scrapbooking layout video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so you'll have to forgive me. I have, I haven't done it for a while, so I'm a bit unsure of what I'm doing. Alright, I have got the Paige Evans Bungalow Lane papers that I am scrapbooking today, and I'm scrapbooking 4 photos. They are of my youngest son and my husband, and they were feeding the turtles and the ducks down by the river, and just snapped a few photos. So I decided to start with just grabbing some paper, cutting some off and tearing it. Just breaking into that paper, just taking a deep breath and just starting, because I don't know about you, but I find it sometimes very hard to crack into a 12 by 12 page of paper or a scrapbooking kit or something along those lines. And I find it really hard some days just to crack it open and just start. But I usually find once I've started and I've cut some paper, then creativity just flows. But I usually just get a little bit stumped on that first initial, layout or, art project, whatever I'm doing. So I thought I'd just cut it and stick it, and we'll see where we go from there. So I tore up the edge, and as you saw, I tore off the edge there, but I decided to flip it over and use both sides of the paper just to create a nice little edge border. And it creates a nice little place to start anyway. And I'm just going through, and I'm going to cut out all those tags, but I will not bore you with doing it on camera. I will turn the camera off and keep cutting. So you don't have to watch me cut every single tag out, but there you go, all done. Just like magic. I love the magic of editing. And bam, just like that, there's the 3 that I want to use. So I've chosen 3, and I'm going to put each of the animals on a tag. That's sort of something I decided on fairly early, that's what I wanted to do. But I don't know, it wasn't working for me this way, so I'm going to play around. I'm going to take away the paper that I've stuck down, to start with white and see what we can do. So I am moving the photos around, playing around, but I feel that main photo is just now getting a little lost, so what else can I do? So I spread them out, trying to work out what to do. Bring back in the other paper, but I've just flipped it around now so that the pattern paper is now on the other side, now on the right instead of the left, and I think that actually balances out quite well. So and brings a bit more interest back into that right side of the paper there. So also still trying to decide whether I want them spread out or close together. I know I want to use a 4th tag just for the journaling. So I brought that in, and in the cutter parts I found that life captured little card as well, so I knew I kind of wouldn't mind using that as well. So I've got that ready as well, and I'm just looking through the papers now, trying to see what I can do to map the main photo on. So I'm going to start with white first though, I think, and then maybe go in with this dark blue. And I like the fact that I chose the dark blue because it's in, well, the water is a dark blue, so that helps. Well, not all the water, some of it's green, but the water is there. When you think of water, you think blue, so that's a good start. And yes, I would love to throw away my paper trimmer at the moment because it just tore that piece of paper, but I don't stress too much and leave it. I do cover it with an embellishment, so it's nothing to be worried about. But anyway, back to the choice. I chose the blue. So 1, you only think of water, blue, okay. 2, the pattern paper I have on the right hand side has a dark navy background. That's the base of it. There are also little blue flowers in there, and then some of the other papers in the tags, the pattern in the tags is also blue, so it does help to just tie that in a little bit more. It just helps make that main photo pop just a little bit off the page, even though the backgrounds there are the same color in the background. It does help just to tie it all in and bring it together. But I only wanted a very small border, so I'm just trimming it down nice and tight, because it doesn't need to be much just to add that little bit of pop. Now these photos, they fit quite well on the tag, but they don't leave much of a border, so I decided I'm going to trim them down a bit. So just trimming them down a little bit just so that there's like a border, because that first tag has that green panel in it. I sort of made each of them fit into that sort of space, same sort of space. So you can still see the green around that photo. But I trimmed the other photos down to the same size just to make it look a little bit more cohesive, I guess. So then I start sticking and plonking, just get it down, because no better way to do a scrapbook than to just stick and plonk. And going in and punching the holes in my tags. Now, I did use a very small hole punch, which I could not find my bigger one at the time. So I just stuck with the small one that I could easily grab a hold of, and it still worked. I mean, once I add some twine in there, it looks perfectly fine. So just getting that in. I don't put the twine on till the very end. So, but the twine I do use is from Kmart, Australia. So, and it came in like a pack of 3 twines. So it's like two of the brown coloured twines, and then a black one as well. And they were just listed as I think it's hemp look twine. So kind of very nice. Just in their craft area. So now I'm just working out the exact placement I want of everything, shuffling things around, moving things around, deciding to start sticking. Look at that. Yay, stick those photos down. Just place them down, and I go on a bit of angles for some things. I don't do things straight. Why go straight when you can, angle things, And because most of the time if I try and go straight, it ends up angled anyway, so I do need to get myself a T-squared ruler. That would be great. But I've looked, and honestly I can't find one anywhere. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong spaces. The main photo I decided to pop up a bit on some craft foam. So it's just kids craft foam, just from the kids section at in your craft store. And it's just the one I got has a tape on one side, so it's like sticky on one side, and then not sticky on the other. So I only have to worry about gluing one side of it, thankfully. So that's not too bad. And this life captured piece that I was talking about before that I cut out, I decided to trim around it just to make it, pop that a little bit more. So it didn't look like a Project Life card stuck on it on the page. It looked like an embellishment then. And it works quite well for the title of the page too. Even though I have the thickest out beside me there, I choose not to use them on this layout anyway. The Live Simply, I am not entirely sure what pack that came from. I don't think it was Paige Evans' one. Might have been something else, but because all the Paige Evans papers and the embellishments that I use, and then this Live Simply one, they all came from a Kitaholics kit subscription from 2021. I believe it may have been November, could have been October, I cannot remember. But yeah, it was one of those anyway. So this is the Paige Evans Bungalow Lane floral die cuts that I've now got out here. And I'm just going through and picking out some flowers and leaves to place on the paper. And you'll see me pick out, I've got 3 yellow flowers there, and they're forming a triangle. So one rule of thumb when placing embellishment clusters is to work in triangles. If you can form a nice triangle across your page, then your embellishments will look much more, what's the word I'm looking for, balanced, I guess. Even though 3 is an odd number, it's usually unbalanced. Placing them in a triangle, it just helps your eyes move around the page. You'll see that there is a 4th cluster of embellishments, and the reason that doesn't take away from it is because it's on that diagonal line across the page. So even though they've got the 3 yellow in a triangle, and now there's this 3, if you look, there's actually 3 blue flowers that form a diagonal line from the top left down to the bottom right, and that still also forms a visual element to your page because it's on that diagonal like that. Your eyes are drawn across the page that way as well. So There's always a deliberate reason for where I place my embellishments, and it is to help bring your eye to the page and across the page in the way you want the page read. In other words, and want for a better term, your eyes naturally want to read, so they will scan across a page, quite often in a zigzag pattern as well, or in a diagonal like I have there. So you can easily place them to form a somewhere for your eyes to land. So I'm just now popping up all the embellishments on a bit of foam. I don't think every embellishment goes on foam, but some do, some don't. Some of them go on double foam, just to bring them off the page a little bit. But I never like to bring them up too far. I don't like a lot of bulk in my albums. I prefer things to be fairly flat. I just find with the amount of photos that I scrapbook for the year, because I try and keep down to one album per year. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes I go across a couple of albums, but I try to keep it to one album. And I don't like to have a great deal of bulk in amongst my layouts. Decided to finally stick down the main photo now. I have finally, decided to commit to that. I don't know why I didn't before, but obviously took a little bit of time to actually decide that's exactly where I want it. And here you just saw me cut the tag down as well. So similar reason. There's two reasons to why I do this. One, I don't want that extra bulk behind the photo. So you weren't going to see it anyway, so why have it there? Just easier just to cut it away. Two is I can actually save on scrapbooking product. I am a frugal scrapper, I guess, in a way. I like to get the most out of my kits, embellishments, papers, everything. I don't like waste. And so I will use that again in another layout for another journaling spot somewhere. Just because I could even punch shapes out of it or something. It will not go to waste. I find that craft supplies are expensive, and if you can get the more out of it that you possibly can, then why not? So I cut away things like that because they're too pretty to waste. So I know some people have built up a lot of supplies over a lot of years, and I have been scrapbooking for well over 15 years now, so I have a lot of supplies. There was one stage where I pretty much got rid of nearly everything, so I did have to build back up my supplies again, but I still have a lot. But I will still always try to save on where I can. So if I don't have to buy product, embellishments and things, because I've still got them, then I won't. I'll use what I have as much as possible. And I added these beautiful Just Add Flair into my kit as well. So these weren't part of the kit. These were an add-on that I just chose to put in. And I just wanted to add another one with that little flower cluster on the bottom there. I went in with foam tape, and it just made it a little bit too thick for my liking. Because the photo was already propped up on foam, adding the foam behind the flare and then putting it on top of the photo, it was just going to be too thick. So I took the foam tape off and go in with a bit of red line tape, so really strong tape. My liquid glue isn't strong enough to hold heavy elements like that, but the red line tape is, so I went in with that and just stuck it to my photo. And then we're going to repeat the process for some strange reason. My recording when I edited, I don't know what happened, but we've got some repeat things happening here, so you'll have to forgive it. I do things a couple of times for you, just in case you didn't catch it that first time. So going in with some Nouveau drops. These are the pale gold Nouveau drops, and just adding a few little dots around the page. They give a nice little raised element to the page there. And I obviously went and did my journaling off camera as well. And now I'm just going in with some I do swap colour shade in gold. I still have some left over, so I am still going to be using it until it runs out, and then I'll find something else I can use. But that's pretty much the layout done now, guys, and I thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click the like button, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you back here again. Alright guys, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.